Most advisors start their week and they have no idea what they're actually doing day to day. And this was me 5 years ago. I sat by my computer and sat by my phone and checked my email and I waited for something magic to happen. But in the end, nothing actually happened. And I had to take responsibility for what I was actually doing in my business to generate traffic and generate leads. And I developed an exact content system that consistently generates anywhere from 25 to 50 leads per month in my insurance business. And in today's video, I'm going to show you guys my exact content schedule that you guys can now apply in your business that starts to generate content, build it out, and then drive that traffic to your funnel so you can actually start to get leads and clients in your life insurance business. What is up, guys? For those of you new to the channel, my name is Philip Setter, and I've been in the insurance industry for over 10 years now. I've been able to scale my insurance brokerage 100% online to 6 figures and beyond using social media and digital marketing. If you guys want to do the same thing in your business, just comment masterclass below and I will give you access to my 2-hour free masterclass where I break down literally exactly step by step how I've done this in my business, and you can do the exact same thing in your business. But without further ado, let's just get right into this video. Okay, before we actually get into the screen share of how I've built my business and what my content schedule is and how I actually break that down per day and what I'm doing per week, and I know exactly what I'm doing each week of the month, and I just repeat this process and it consistently generates leads. And by the way, I'm going to show you guys my entire system, and make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to have my full management tool that I use, and I'll give you guys access to it as well, where I have everything in this tool broken down by different video types and scripts and ideation, all these things that I'm going to talk about, organized in a very simple way so you can just follow it step by step and just do the exact same thing every month in your business. But let's just talk about business. Let's talk about, the insurance industry and the financial services industry. Let's talk about the old way of marketing versus the new way of marketing. So like I mentioned, I've been in the industry since 2014, and I started out just like everybody else started out, probably how you started out, maybe not, but how a lot of people are teaching you how to get clients. And I just think it's like a flawed or wrong, or there's just a better way to get clients. So I started with a captive insurance company, and they taught me, like, probably a lot of you are taught, is like, okay, let's hit the ground running. Let's go door to door. Let's go cold calling, or let's go to all your friends and your family. Let's pester your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your colleague, your friend. And here's the thing. I never wanted to do that. I didn't want to go and pester all my friends and family. I did, and I got a few sales here or there, but I didn't want to be pestering all my friends and family all the time. I mean, I like just having them as friends. I didn't want to always be like hanging out with all my bros and have this thought in the back of my mind, like, oh, I got to try and make a sale and, try and sell this guy. He just had, something happen in his life. He just bought a house or something like that. Like, yes, I still offer those services, obviously, but it's not my primary source of marketing. So I don't care if it comes in. So that was how I started. I started very traditional cold call, door knocking, friends and family. Fast forward to, I would say, 2016, 2017, that's where I started to get more into the business owner market. And that's all face-to-face as well. So that's, hitting the ground running, hitting the pavement. That is a lot of seminars. I did dozens and dozens, maybe 100 plus seminars, across Canada. So Vancouver, Toronto, Edmonton, Calgary. I did lots of wine and dines, so many networking events. I hate networking events. I never want to go to a networking event ever again in my entire life. Please, God, don't make me. But I did all of that, all the traditional stuff that they tell you to do in business. I did all of it, wine and dine, networking, cold calling, door knocking, etc. But come 2020, thank God that it happened, because I actually, because all that face-to-face marketing was shut down, COVID happened, everyone's locked inside, all of a sudden, I had to actually take a step back and be like, okay, well, this isn't going to work now. How am I going to get clients? How do I run my business? What am I going to do? And thankfully, I actually settled on, social media and using video content marketing specifically and video content to generate clients. And there's so many benefits for video content marketing and so many benefits for using social media. I'm not going to get into every single one of them, but one of the biggest benefits that social media and content marketing in general, and I would highly recommend video content marketing, I can explain that here in a second, is that you can now start to leverage and duplicate your efforts. Every one of those things that I listed at the beginning, cold calling, door knocking, wine and dine, seminars, etc., that's just you. And it only happens when you're doing it. And as soon as you stop doing it, it stops. If you're not in front of the room running a seminar, you're not getting any clients. No one's coming in the door. No one's buying from you. You need to constantly be filling the room, getting in front of it, and speaking in front of the room and doing some type of presentation. And don't get me wrong, obviously you can still make a lot of money that way. And I still did very well in that market. However, it is not duplicable. It is not leveraged. If you're not in front of the room, nothing happens. Whereas with video content marketing, I have a YouTube channel that drives thousands of clicks to my website and generates anywhere from 25 to 50 leads per month in my insurance business. And this is happening behind the scenes. Like I'm on vacation, I'm going on a climbing trip, I'm sleeping, I'm doing something else, and I'm having leads come into my business. I'm getting emails, on my phone. Oh, another email, another lead, another contact, another application, etc. All of this is happening behind the scenes. I don't need to be constantly in front of the room or cold calling or door knocking. I can just commit to a monthly schedule where I generate content, and that content then drives business, drives traffic, to my business. So video content marketing is one of the best ways that you can generate traffic in the insurance industry, especially because our industry and the topics that we talk about are so complicated. It's not like we're selling, a bathing suit or, some type of product, some type of, a coffee cup or something like that. I'm just picking things up, headphones. It's not like you're selling, I'm just picking things up off my desk here, a hat or something like that, where you can put it online and you can just say, hey, this is, a cool hat. The topics that we are discussing are quite complicated, and to just try and put that in a blog post or something like that is very difficult. But video content, this is the easiest way that we can get in front of clients and explain these different complicated subjects that we need to talk about. Whole life insurance, universal life insurance, disability, critical illness, investments, RSP, TFSA. These are things that are complicated topics that are constantly changing, and video is the best way that you can communicate these different topics to your clients. So before we actually get into the step-by-step content calendar that I'm going to show you guys here, you need to take a second now, pause this video and think about it. What type of business do you want to have? What do you want to do for the rest of your life? How do you want to market? You need to think, if you're in the business right now and maybe you've been in it for 5 to 10 years, maybe you're just getting started, maybe you've been in it for 30 years, right? And if you've been in it for 30 years, obviously you're doing something right. But if you are a new to, intermediate, I guess, what's the other word for intermediate? New to semi-experienced, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. If you've been in the industry between 1 and 5 or 1 and 10 years, let's say, maybe 10 is on the long end, you need to think about what do you want to do for the rest of your life? Because at the end of the day, we are just a commodity. There's nothing special about me or you or anyone else. We all have access to the same companies. So the one thing that sets us apart is marketing and how we put ourselves out there and our personal brand and getting in front of our clients, because they can pick any company at the end of the day. They can pick any broker across Canada, the United States. So really at the end of the day, you're not an insurance broker, you're a marketer. And you need to market yourself to get clients. And even not just an insurance broker. If you're an investment advisor, insurance broker, real estate agent, mortgage broker, any of these professions that are really just a commodity at the end of the day, the one thing that separates you is your personal brand and marketing. So pause the video right now and decide, how do you want to live the rest of your life, and what do you want to do in your business for the rest of your life? Is it cold calling? Is it door knocking? Is it running seminars? If it's those things, you could probably just pause the video and leave, just exit the video. However, if you want to build a business that is sustainable and you can leverage your time over the long term, video content marketing is the best way that you can do it. It's done tremendous things in my business. And I think it's one of the, like I mentioned, obviously one of the best ways that you can explain complex subject material, and one of the best ways that you can build that know, like, and trust factor with your clients, so they can watch a video of you and get to know the real you and say, yeah, I want to do business with that guy. So before we move forward, make a commitment to either A, dive all in with video content marketing, and this is how you are going to build your business for the next 50 years or 40 years, however long you're going to be in it. Or B, you want to go back to cold calling, door knocking, seminars. If that's the case, it was nice to meet you. Have a good day. If not, let's get into it. Okay, so we are back to the whiteboard here. Let's start to get into what it actually looks like to create content every single month. So, step number one is you need to obviously come up with different video ideas that you are going to be creating these videos on, which, by the way, hang on, let me scroll up here. Hold on. By the way, the dates that I do all this, sorry, I didn't put it in here. You can pick any day that you want to do these different things. However, I would recommend that you create somewhat of a consistent schedule so you know exactly what you're doing on which day. So just for example, I'm going to put this in here actually. So ideation for me is the 15th of each month, okay? So the 15th of every month, I am now coming up with all my video ideas for everything that I'm going to create for the next month. So I batch all of my content. Right now, we are in November. I have all of the content already scheduled for November. November is ready, done, good to go, okay? And then the scripting, pardon me, let's go back here. I'll put this in as well. This is also done. So, and we're going to get into more in depth here. I'm just going to write these different things out for you. Scripting, pardon me, I usually do on the 18th. Filming, I usually start that on the 22nd of every month. And then, I actually missed a step here. I am so sorry. Hang on, let me just copy this, put this here. This is going to be step number 4, and this is going to be editing, pardon me. Okay, so editing is usually done between, I would say, usually I am starting the editing or I'm sending it to my editor by the 1st. So sometimes, it might take you a couple days or whatever. But maybe if we can get that a little bit earlier. And then at the latest, let's start scheduling at like the 10th, something like that. The 10th to the, it could be 10th to the 15th. Okay, so that is in a nutshell. And I have to change the step here. 1 sec here. Let's go back there. That is, and I'm going to go through all these in depth. Don't worry here. But that is now your schedule. So you know exactly what you're doing every single week. It's like, okay, it's the 15th. We're going to do all the ideation and we're going to do all this scripting. Once all the scripting is done, we can start filming. Once all the filming's done, we can start the editing process or send it to our editor, which I'm going to talk about here as well. And then obviously, once we get all the videos back and everything is done, we're going to schedule them. So let's go back up here to ideation. Let's start at step number 1. I apologize. We had to go all over the place there to put the dates in. You're probably wondering, how do I come up with ideas though, Philip? What should I create content on? What should I create a video on? I'm going to give you guys a very simple step here. And by the way, I'm going to make more videos on this, so don't worry. But I'm going to give you guys a very simple step-by-step formula that you can use to come up with literally a year worth of content, 365 different video ideas that you can continue to create, pardon me. And there's so many. So step number one, I should say, is you want to figure out what market. So pick a market, okay? And when I say market, that could be insurance, that could be investments, that could be financial planning, etc. That could be maybe taxation, if you do tax planning. Now from that, then you're going to create some subtopics. So let's just take insurance as the market. So, we have life, we have life insurance, yep. And then we have disability insurance, we have whole life. I'm not going to go through the whole list here, but you understand. So go through one, create 10 subtopics for the market, pardon me. And then after that, we can start to figure out what our videos are from those keywords. So if we actually go to, I built this little Excel spreadsheet here. So we can see here, my market right now is marketing. This channel is all about teaching marketing for financial advisors and insurance brokers. So some subtopics out of that: social media marketing, content creation, personal branding, funnels, automation, email marketing, paid ads, lead generation, business systems, and scaling. And now you can see I have all of these different keywords that I've already done. So build yourself a little bit of a spreadsheet like this, have all these different things. Once we start to get some different, our market here, and by the way, this is just one. Like I mentioned, you could have, insurance is one, investments are one, financial planning is one, taxation is one. So there's so many videos that you guys can create topics around if you guys obviously are doing those different services. Obviously, if you're not doing investments, don't talk about investments. However, once you actually start to get some of these, this is where you can come up with the different video ideas. So there's 3 different places that you can go to find different ideas. Let's just take life insurance, and I'm going to specifically go with term life insurance just to make it easier. So hang on, let me put that keyword in. Term life insurance. Let's use that as the first keyword. Obviously, you would have like dozens and dozens and dozens of these keywords built from the subtopics and the market. Our first step is Google. Okay, so let's go to Google. let's go here and let's Google term life insurance. Okay. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to scroll down to these people also ask. And I'll put that in there. Okay. So here we go. Now as soon as you click one of these, it expands and you can just unclick it. You can continue to do this infinitely. This is what people are actually searching for. This is actual SEO-based content that is such a good place for you, or good resource, for you to pull ideas from to make videos on. So let's just go through this. How does a term life insurance work? Okay, there's a video idea right there. How does term life insurance work? Let's do that. How much does $1 million term life insurance policy cost? We could make one there. Which is better, term or whole life? That's another one. What are the main disadvantages of term life? There's another one. At what age should you stop? So all of these different topics, go through this and pick 10 different ideas that you can then create. And so if we go back here, if we came up with, let's say 10 subtopics for our market, and then we came up with 20 keywords, what's the math there? That's 20 times, let's say we come up with 5. Hang on. So 5 times 50 times 10, that's 500 ideas right there if you just went through that. That is the first one. And hang on, let me just put that in there. People also ask. Okay, great. That's your first resource. Go to that, pick some video ideas. Super easy. The second place you can go is Answer the Public. So let's go over here. This is answerthepublic.com. You can get a couple free searches per day. Let's go term life insurance, English. Make sure to select what country you're actually in. And let's go ahead and search and see what we come up with. Okay, here we go. So what I like to do on this, if you go on the left side here, you see it has ideas. We want to phrase all of our videos as questions, because when people are searching, they're not searching, term life insurance basics. Like, that's not what they're searching. Like, think about what you actually search when you go to Google. You search for, how does term life insurance work? Or where can I buy a car that is red? Or, it's a very specific, phrase it like you would say it out loud, because that's how people are searching for these different ideas. So you can see here, we have all these different ideas, but let's go on the left here and let's go to questions. So here's, this is a really good one right here. How much term life insurance do I need? How does term life insurance work? We already have that one. What term life insurance? Maybe we'll skip that one. Which is best term or whole life insurance? Okay, we could do that one. These are all social media, pardon me. So let's actually go to this search engine one. What does term life insurance mean? Can term life insurance have cash value? That's a video idea right there. That's actually one I hadn't even thought of. Anyways, you get the point. Go on to this one, come up with some ideas. That is number 2, Answer the Public. And the third place that you can come up with video ideas is see what your competition is doing. So I'm not telling you to blatantly copy what your competitors are doing. However, I do want you to look at what is working in the marketplace, how they're doing their scripts, how they're doing their phrasing, what they're actually doing as a thumbnail, a title, an SEO, a tag, and then don't blatantly copy it, but just change it and make it in your own voice and make it better than what they did. So if we just look up let's look up how does term life insurance work on YouTube, okay? I don't need to capitalize each word. How does term life insurance work? Okay. Right here, we can see a lot of these are Dave Ramsey, Ty Kim, okay? So look at these different videos that they have up here. See how they're doing it, what they're using for a thumbnail, what they're using for a tag, what they're using, for their different things. Look at all these different ones right here. And this is obviously just on this one search term. Watch these videos, see what's working, and then rob and duplicate, but put your own spin on it. Don't just blatantly copy it. So if we go back up here, another thing that you can do to come up with ideas is once you find a channel that you like and that is doing, well, let's go to this channel right here. You can see him. He's doing really good. Personal finance, money investing. Go to his videos and then go to his popular videos and then see which videos are performing well on his channel. So you can see here 18 wealth lessons from this book, 9 financial goals to achieve, and then pick from this list, 5 to 10 or 5 to 15 videos that resonate with you that you can watch and you think, I can do better. I can do a better thumbnail, better hook. I can talk about this content more authentically. I have more experience in it. I can weave in my own stories, etc. And then build a list of ideas from your competitors' channels and their top performing videos. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go back here. That is your ideation phase. That's how you come up with ideas. Let's actually get into the scripting. And I'm going to show you guys my entire template at the end, so don't worry about that. I'm going to show you guys how to do all this. But your long form videos are going to use a framework known as Halo, and your short form are going to use a format known as CAP. So Halo is hook, action, lesson, outcome. Let me put this up here. Now, if you've watched this video, which you are watching right now, and you've watched my other videos, you'll know I start every video with a specific hook. I'm trying to grab you as the viewer and bring you into the video. I don't start my videos like, what's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Philip Setter. I do say that, so hang on. That is my action, pardon me, that I'm trying to prompt. But I don't start the video. I say, in today's video, I'm going to talk about scripting, and I'm going to talk about ideation, and I'm going to talk about these other things. No, I start the video with a very specific, every advisor is doing this wrong. Here's how you do it right. Here's how you change your life. It's very impactful, and I'm bringing you in and I'm hooking you into the video. That is the best way to get people to actually watch your video. Action is then you want to have a call to action where you're actually telling them to go somewhere, wherever it is in your funnel, in your process, book a call with you, download a lead magnet, whatever it is. You want to put that at the beginning of your video because that's where most people are going to watch to. I think the average view duration on video is anywhere from 30 to 40%, somewhere in that range, 25 to 35%, somewhere in that range. So you want to have your call to action near the beginning of the video so people are getting that right away. And that is, how can they get in touch with you? How can they work with you? What do they do next? Okay? So we have hook, we have action. Lesson is the bulk of the video. We're in the lesson part of this video right now. We're talking about, ideation, scripting, etc. You want to break down your lessons in a step-by-step or bullet point format. So you don't want to just go off the cuff and be talking about, this and that and blah, blah, blah. People like to follow some type of structured and organized system. Like in this video right now, you can clearly see that we're going step by step, and it provides a structure for you as the viewer to, follow along and not just get lost in the haze of what the hell is he even talking about? You can actually see, we're going from step 2 to step 3 to step 4. This is the best way to script your videos. And then the last thing you want to do at the end of your video is you want to try and keep them within your ecosystem. So whatever outcome it is, and I'll show you guys at the end of this video, but you want to say, hey, thanks so much for watching my video on term life insurance. Click here to watch my latest video where I actually break down term versus whole life insurance and why sometimes whole life insurance might be a better product for you. That is an outcome. You're trying to keep them in your ecosystem and you're trying to direct them to the next video in your channel. So that is the framework for long form video. Short form video is a little bit different, but very similar. So capture attention, capture attention. And then we want to add value, which is our lesson. Okay. And then the last one is we want to prompt an action. Okay. So I'll put this over here. Short form content. And by the way, I will maybe make another video about all this. So obviously it gets a little bit more in depth, but short form content is very specific. It needs to be very fast. It's got to be bang, 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 bang. And it needs to also have a lot of different hooks. So the hook can't necessarily just be the verbal hook that I do at the beginning of this video. You need to have verbal hooks. You need to have visual hooks as well, where you're maybe jumping onto a chair or you're putting the camera down. You also need to have many different transitions throughout the video. Maybe you're scripting it in one location and then the next shot is in another and the next shot is in another. So it's a little bit different. We're not going to get into too much of the mechanics of that, but we do want to script our different videos using this format, pardon me. So Halo for the long form, which by the way, long form content is anywhere from, 10 minutes to 30 minutes, whatever it takes to make the video. Short form content is obviously 60 seconds or less. Okay, let's get into filming. So now we're at the 22nd of each month. Great. Awesome. We're doing awesome. We went to the 15th, 18th, the 22nd. Now you have your outline. So when you start to film, I would not script the entire video. I would just come up with the step-by-step bullet points, similar to how I'm doing right here. But if you were just doing a talking head without a screen share, I would have your script beside you, on your phone or your laptop or whatever it is. And I would have, point number 1, talk about the basics of term life insurance. So what I would do is I would stop, I would look at my phone or my computer, whatever it is, and I would say basics of term life insurance. I would look back at the camera and I would say, so the basics of term life insurance is you have different term lengths and you have different periods. And at the end of the period, you can either cancel it, you can either renew it, or you can either go out onto the market and get a new policy. And then I would stop once I finished that section. I would look back at my computer and I would see, term whole life insurance, for example, whatever the next point is. I would then look back at the camera and continue the discussion. That is how you should be filming. It makes it really easy to edit, and you can just, go through the process and look for all the blank spots where you're not talking, and then, just talk. So that is outline, pardon me. Another thing that I would recommend is batching all your content. So what I mean by that is don't just do it all at, do one video and then script another one and then write the idea for another one. You want to do all these things in batches for efficiency and to just get into the mindset. So for example, today, actually, ironically, is the 22nd, and I didn't plan this, I swear. This was just in my notes that I would start film on the 22nd. And it is the 22nd today exactly, and this is when I'm making this video. You want to do all of your content all at once. So I've already recorded one video before this. I have this video to record. I'm going to record 2 more videos today. And then tomorrow, I'm going to record the last 4. So get it all done at once. It just makes it better for efficiency. And I find that, you can only record so many videos in a day before you just the energy starts to get low. You start to get a little bit tired. You start to just kind of get lethargic. And if you're bored creating the videos, your viewers will be bored watching them. So don't do that. So batch content. The last thing that I want to say about filming is be genuine. People, you can see from this video, I'm very relaxed. I'm very comfortable. I'm making mistakes. I'm playing with it. I'm joking. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time while I'm doing this. I'm putting my genuine self forward. If you get in front of the camera and all of a sudden you start to get this in today's video, people don't want that. They don't want this super polished, flashy, super rigid personality. People do business, again, with people they know, like, and trust. And you build that by being genuine and authentic and just putting your real self forward. Now, one of the best ways you can do this, because you're probably saying Philip, how the hell do I do this? How the hell do I get in front of the camera and actually be genuine? As soon as I turn the camera on, I'm just oh God, I'm a robot. So the way that you do this is one of the easiest hacks that I can give you guys to try and be genuine, and it's worked for me so much, is stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about who you're making the video for. And so one of the things you can do, you're sitting down to film, you have a video about, let's say, term life insurance, for example, okay? And you're thinking, oh, I have to get these points and I have to nail this and I got to do the hook. And Philip said the Halo format, Think about who you're actually making the video for. Think about what impact you're making in their lives. Think about the intent that you want to give them. You are creating content that could potentially change someone's life. Someone's life, pardon me. And as soon as you start to think about not yourself, but about the other person at the end of the screen that's actually watching this video, all of a sudden, for me at least, I find that I just get out of my head and I just think who am I helping? I'm imagining you and I'm thinking about you as another financial advisor who maybe you're new in the industry and maybe you're like me when I was in the industry and I had no idea what the hell I was doing and I was craving somebody to give me some advice and tell me what to do and tell me what the hell I'm doing wrong, because it took me years and years and years to figure out what the fuck I was actually doing wrong and how to generate business. And I wish someone would have told me how to do it. Sorry about that hiccup right there. I actually just looked over at my recording and it was not recording. And I thought that my audio was not recording, but it is recording. So we're back to it. So to wrap that up, be genuine. Think about the end person that you want to actually make this video for, and you will be fine. Okay, let's get into the last two steps here real quick. And then I'm going to show you guys my board where I actually keep track of all these different systems that you're going to be using to ideation, scripting, scheduling, et cetera, et cetera. Step 4 is editing your content. I would start at the first, pardon me, and hopefully you can edit all of those. I'm not going to get into the editing of the video. Of course, just look up how to edit videos. Don't the one thing I'll say about editing videos is don't focus so much on trying to make it super polished and super fancy. I would say put the bulk of your editing at the beginning of the video to try and hook them in. Once you get them starting the video and you actually have them watching, you don't have to worry about so much. Just cut the basic things out. Make sure you cut the dead space out. Put a few transitions. Put a few little subtitles at the beginning to get them interested. And, that's good for now. Eventually, you want to get to the point where you're actually able to just hire an editor and have them outsource this. This isn't something that you want to be spending all of your time on, and it is a bit of a commitment. So the last step that I want to talk about here is scheduling. I do this between the 10th to the 15th, and I'm always scheduling a month in advance. So starting in December, I will be scheduling it, for January, pardon me, okay? So long form content, this is just a little playbook that you can use. I do 8 long form videos per month, and I do anywhere from 5 to 10 shorts per month. And I try and be consistent with that schedule over the long term, especially if you're just starting out with video content marketing and YouTube and these other different systems. You need to just put in the time, put in the work, and figure out what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. And you need to think about your first 50 videos that you're putting out on YouTube as just like your apprenticeship into this system, just trying to figure out how it works and what you're doing right. And does the scripting work? Does the thumbnail work? How do you figure out SEO? And it's just like an apprenticeship of figuring out the basics of the system. Don't expect anything for the first, year. If you can push your expectations out, the longer you push them out, eventually you will win. So the faster you can make videos and figure out what's working, what's not, the faster you'll succeed. And if you do 8 long-form videos, you're going to do that twice as fast as someone doing 4 long-form videos. So I would recommend 8 long-form videos, at least for the first year or two. And then after that, short-form videos, 5 to 10. Now, how I would schedule it, of course, I would put it all on YouTube. So 8 long form on YouTube. And then for each video, I would create a post that I would then reshare on Meta. So that's Facebook and Instagram. And I'd also put that on LinkedIn. I would not put the link to the YouTube video. I would write a post using ChatGPT, write the outline of what your post is, put it in there, and then make a post on an actual standalone valuable post that you could put out on your own, or on its own, pardon me. And now at the bottom, you can say, hey, I just made a full video on this exact topic. If you want the full video, just comment YouTube or ideation or script or whatever it is, term life insurance below, and I will send you that video. If you put the link in there, those systems, those different social media platforms will throttle that post. They don't want people leaving their platform. Okay, short form. Obviously, we're putting that on YouTube, Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. That is it. That is the whole content system in a nutshell. The last thing that I'm going to show you guys here is this board. I told you guys I had this board that I've built out that has all the different templates and everything built out. So this is my current month that I'm doing right now. So if we look here on the left-hand side, this is how I organize all of my content. So it's incredibly easy. I've shared this with my entire team so they can see everything as well. If we look here on the left, I have these templates that I built out, and you can see I have hook, action, lesson, outcome. Did I film it? Did I edit it, or did I send it to my editor? Have I created the thumbnail? Have I enhanced it with title, description, keywords? Has it been scheduled? And do I have the reshare post done? So all I do when I create a new video is I go here, I go copy, and I put that into here. And then this is the title. So I say this is a test title right there. Create that card. And you can see here now in this little section, I have this test title, and I can start to go through that process. That's for my long form. For my short form, you can see here that I have, this is a little bit different. I have some attachments here, And these are the different call to action templates, hook templates, script templates. And then over here, I have my capture attention, add value, prompt action. Then I have filmed, edited, enhanced, etc., and scheduled. So those are little checkboxes. And then I have some different video ideas right here, some brainstorming. You can see here, this is just where I put a few different things. And then content pillars, different things that I want to create content on. That's the template side right here. Here's the videos that I'm working on, the YouTube long. This is what I'm working on this month. Here's everything that's with my team of editors right now. Over here, here's all the shorts that I'm going to create. And here's some future ideas that I just put there, just to keep track. So if we actually go into this, I just filmed this last video, before this one. And you can see here, I have the hook. And then I don't put my call to action. I obviously just, I obviously know that I need to put it in the video, but, I'll just say call to action, something like that. Okay. And then we'll just save that. So you can see here, I have my hook, which is that using the Halo format, my hook, my call to action. Here's all of my lessons. And you can see I just have it point by point, intro, basics of a funnel, my funnel, etc. So I don't script it, verbatim. I don't have the exact verbatim, word by word script. I wouldn't recommend that because it doesn't come off as genuine. So I have all that there. This is the one that I'm creating right now. And that is it in a nutshell. If you want this Trello board, I've made a template of it. Just comment Trello board below and I will send it to you. And you guys can just use this and create a copy into your own board. And you can do this. And check this out. One sec. If we go into, this is the video that I'm doing right now. And if we go, we can see here's the hook. Here's all of the actual intro. And then you can see here, my outcome is, if you want the full breakdown of how to use YouTube as a financial advisor, insurance broker to generate leads going through the entire YouTube system, click here to watch it. That is my outcome, my call to action right there. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys have any questions, comments, just put them below. And as always, if you guys are enjoying this content, all I ask is to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.